Welcome to Underworld UK, where Britain's darkest stories are brought to light. From the gritty streets of Gangland, London, Liverpool, Manchester and Birmingham, from Curtis Warren to the Cray twins to county lines and modern-day true crime, we cover everything. Bringing you new videos every week. Subscribe so that you'll be notified when the next video is put out.
Jazz Reid has been jailed for 38 years after opening fire and hitting an 8-year-old girl who was celebrating her birthday and her dad while they were in a car in northwest London. A suspected contract killer who dressed up as a Deliveroo rider before shooting an 8-year-old girl and her dad has been jailed for 38 years. Jazz Reid fired a volley of 11 shots, hitting the child twice and the 34-year-old man 5 times as they sat with other family members in a car in Ladbroke Grove, northwest London on November 24. Bullets struck the father in the back, chest, abdomen and pelvis area and injured his daughter in her buttocks and foot. The girl, who had spent the day celebrating her birthday with friends and family, was left a shadow of the bubbly, bright, larger-than-life character she once was, according to her mother. The incident was one of 3 linked shootings involving the use of 2 guns, one of which was recovered from underneath a concrete slab outside 33-year-old Reid's home following his arrest. Since Reid's trial last year, a 9mm self-loading pistol relating to the first 2 shootings was seized with a moped, the Old Bailey was told. Each shooting was planned and executed with precision, with Reid even switching his mobile phone and SIM card to avoid detection, prosecutor Michael Goodwin KC had said. Last November, Reid was found guilty of the attempted murder of the father and wounding the girl with intent. He was also convicted of wounding a second man with intent on October 9, 2024 and a string of firearms offences. The motive for the shootings remained a mystery, as Reid had continued to deny his crimes or explain what lay behind him, Mr Goodwin said. On Thursday, Judge Sarah Whitehouse KC sentenced Reid at the Old Bailey to 38 years in prison and a further 5 years on extended licence. She said the lack of motive was of great concern and raised the possibility of contract killings, given there was no evidence Reid knew his victims. Judge Whitehouse said Reid might have carried out the shootings on behalf of others for reasons relating to drug dealing or some other financial gain. Reid would drive a hire car to the area, change into his Deliveroo disguise, complete with a takeaway box, and cycle an e-bike to the location of his intended targets. In the first shooting on October 9, 2024, Reid fired twice, hitting Emily Buncombe in the thigh at the victim's home in Notting Hill. On November 11, 2024, Reid made his first attempt to shoot the 34-year-old father by firing 4 shots at an address in North London that was linked to the victim. He was uninjured on that occasion. Reid was driving a hire car when he was arrested near his home in Uxbridge last November 26th. Dramatic police body-worn video showed armed officers performing a hard stop and surrounding Reid in his car. Convicted drug dealer Reid had denied being the gunman and claimed he was set up over a £10,000 debt and the gun found at his home was planted. In a statement, the mother of the injured child and partner of the 34-year-old victim said Reid's actions had completely shattered both my life and my family's. The ongoing impact remained enormous, she said, adding, "I have frequent flashbacks and relive that evening every day. That day should have been about her, not what it turned into because of this man. The incident has completely turned my daughter's life upside down. She's a shadow of the bubbly, bright, larger-than-life character she once was, and now rarely wants to go out and socialise while suffering daily trauma and questioning why it happened. My partner has gone from being a happy, active, social man to one who is unable to walk. The pain of seeing him like this is unbearable for us all. While we are grateful that justice has been served and to the investigating officers for their hard work throughout this investigation, unfortunately, no sentence will ever make up for what Reid did to my family." The mother of 4 became emotional in court as she told of a living nightmare. Her 8-year-old daughter now suffered flashbacks and referred to the gunman as the bad man. "She's more anxious than an 8-year-old should be. It makes me sick there's still a bullet inside my baby girl," she said. Following the sentencing, Detective IP Richard Scott from Scotland Yard said this was a truly shocking series of crimes carried out by a man intent on committing murder. His actions were carefully planned and executed. He intended to kill his targets, but also ended up seriously injuring an innocent young girl who must now live with the trauma caused by Reid's wicked actions. Superintendent Owen Renardon, who leads policing in Kensington and Chelsea, thanked the local community of Ladbroke Grove for helping with the investigation. He said, "Jazz Reid was a prolific criminal in the Ladbroke Grove area, with firearms at the centre of his offending, so it was incredibly important we did everything in our power to bring him to justice."
Speaking outside the Old Bailey, Mr. Renardon recognised the courage of Reid's victims. He added, "Reid caused serious injuries to 2 men and a young girl who had been celebrating her 8th birthday with friends and loved ones. He also endangered the lives of others, and London is a safer place as a result of the significant sentence handed to him today." Met detectives worked tirelessly to bring Reid to justice as part of an extensive investigation, piecing together vital clues to leave no doubt in the jury's mind of his guilt. They reviewed hundreds of hours of CCTV footage, as well as mobile phone and car number plate recognition data. They were able to track Reid's movements before, during and after all 3 incidents to build a conclusive case against him. On 26 November 2024, officers conducted a search of his home address and located a loaded pistol hidden under a concrete paving slab at the rear of the property. Forensic examination found Reid's DNA on the weapon and confirmed it to be the one used in the 3rd attack. His DNA was also recovered on the fired bullet casings from the Nottingdale shooting on 11th November. Detective Inspector Richard Scott, who led the Met's investigation, said, "This was a truly shocking series of crimes carried out by a man intent on committing murder. His actions were carefully planned and executed. He intended to kill his targets, but also ended up seriously injuring an innocent young girl who must now live with the trauma caused by Reid's wicked actions. Not only did he go to extreme lengths to commit these crimes, but he also took steps to cover his tracks, disposing of mobile phone SIM cards after each shooting and changing vehicles to evade detection. I hope that his conviction and today's sentence provide some measure of comfort to him and their loved ones." The shootings. On 9th October 2024, Reid drove a hire car from his home in Oxbridge to an address in Ladbroke Grove, where he was storing a converted e-bike and a green Deliveroo rucksack. He used the bike to travel to the home of his first victim in Notting Hill before shooting him in the thigh at the communal front door of his property. The victim, a 27-year-old man, was seriously injured. Just over a month later, on 11th November 2024, Reid used the same method to disguise himself and travelled to an address associated with a 34-year-old man in the Nottingdale area, firing a total of 4 shots which were heard by neighbours and reported to police. 13 days later, on 24th November 2024, Reid went after the same man again after locating him in a car on Southern Row in Goulburn. Once again, disguised as a delivery rider on the same modified bicycle, Reid fired several shots at the car, 5 of which hit his intended target. 2 shots also struck an 8-year-old girl who was in the front passenger seat. Both victims survived the attack. However, the 34-year-old man suffered life-threatening and severely life-changing injuries. Superintendent Owen Renardon, who leads policing in Kensington and Chelsea, said, "I'd like to thank the local community in Ladbroke Grove who helped us with our investigation and continue to stand alongside us in our fight against gun crime. Jazz Reid was a prolific criminal in the Ladbroke Grove area, with guns at the centre of his offending, so it was incredibly important we did everything in our power to bring him to justice. The Met is relentless in going after those who bring guns onto our streets, pull the trigger, or assist those who do so. Our work is already having a positive impact, with latest data showing lethal barrel discharges have fallen by 33% across London, from 157 in 2024 compared to 120 in 2025. Our message is clear: there is no hiding place for individuals or organised crime groups, and we'll do everything in our power to bring those who commit these crimes to justice.
In a statement provided to the Met Police, the mother of the 8-year-old girl and partner of the 34-year-old man who was shot said, "The actions of Jazz Reid on the evening of the 24th November 2024 have completely shattered both my life and my family's. The impact on us all remains enormous more than a year on. I have frequent flashbacks and relive that evening every day. I carry the guilt of not being able to protect my little girl from what happened to her on a day we'd spent surrounded by friends and family celebrating her birthday. That day should have been about her, not what it turned into because of this man. The incident has completely turned my daughter's life upside down. She's a shadow of the bubbly, bright life than her character she once was, and now rarely wants to go out and socialise while suffering daily trauma and questioning why it happened. My partner has gone from being a happy, active, social man to one who is unable to walk. The pain of seeing him like this is unbearable for us all. While we are grateful that justice has been served and to the investigating officers for their hard work throughout this investigation, unfortunately, no sentence will ever make up for what Reid did to my family.